I've 5 kids, one girl and 4 boys. We have a very close family with regard to my kids and my brothers and sisters and stuff like that. So we meet quite regularly. And it's a good environment to have kids in. It's important for them to see the sense of value with family and the benefits that can bring. A number of years ago, I had an industrial accident. That accident left me in a bit of pain, and the prognosis was that I would have to have surgery. I had the surgery. It didn't go 100% the way I would have liked, and it left me in severe pain for quite an extended period of time. So I had constant pain over a 12-month period. And it's very hard to describe when you have constant pain 24/7 to other people, but it does take its toll, it does drain you, and it does bring you to a very dark place. To a place, I suppose, where I wanted that pain to end. During that time, I had a lot of reflection on life, but when you're in pain and when it brings you really down, your thinking is a bit askewed. Normally when we talk among family and at home and stuff like that, when you verbalize something, you have an opportunity to hear back what you're saying, so you can actually check it, geez, this doesn't sound right. But when you're constantly living in your own head, when you're in pain and when you feel you can't open up to someone, then those thoughts become your reality. And my reality at the time was I wanted to end this pain, and the only way I could see of doing that was to actually end my life. It was probably on the crux of me going to physically do something to enact that plan when an occupational health nurse at work used to contact me every now and again to see how I was doing. And she had rang me that day. I'm not too sure what triggered the question from her on the day, but on the day she asked me the question straight out: was I contemplating suicide? Was I contemplating ending my own life? And that was like a hammer blow. It's very hard to describe how those words can impact you when you are thinking that way. When you think about ending your own life, it seems so rational in your own head when you're in so much pain. But when someone then verbalizes and asks you that question, it's kind of the realization of what you're going to do comes over you, and it's kind of, well, this isn't what I want. I want the pain to end, but when you put it that way, that's not what I want. And those words had a huge impact to me. So my wife Sue came in and was trying to figure out what was going wrong, what had happened. So eventually, when I got to a place where I could explain, I opened up to Sue. I told her how I was feeling. I told her what I was planning. And she gave me a huge hug and said, look, we can get through this. I'm glad you told me. Let's work on it. And that was really the start of my recovery. Part of my recovery program, I tried various things. Sue helped me get into meditation and mindfulness, done an awful lot of walking. I found that help as well, and a bit of reading. I'm not the best of readers, but there's some quite good books out there that put things in perspective and can help you put steps in place. I also decided that I needed to educate myself, so I went back and done some further education. I done a coaching diploma, I studied emotional intelligence and IT Carlow, and a few other courses like that. And I got to a stage then where I said, okay, I've all this knowledge, I've this experience, I'd like to give something back. I came across this ad, volunteers wanted for 1 or 2 hours a week, and it was Aware. I'd never heard of Aware before and didn't know what they did, but I said, you know what, I think I've 1 or 2 hours to give. I'll give them a buzz and see what the story is. So I made a phone call and ended up meeting Kate Donnelly, who was a regional coordinator at the time. We done an interview, and Kate invited me to come for training with Aware to become a support group facilitator. I did the training, and that was about 8 years ago, and I've been a support group facilitator in Cork ever since. Talking is so important. No matter how bad you feel, no matter how bad the situation you are in is, there's always hope, there's always recovery. I'm sitting here because of that. A close friend, a loved one, even a stranger, pick up a phone and phone one of the helplines. The act of actually verbalizing what you're thinking makes such a difference. And it's hard for people to understand that, but when you've all these thoughts going around in your head, they can bring you to a low place. But the minute you verbalize them, they take on a different meaning, and you're able to rationalize what you're doing a lot easier. So talking to someone is so important.